Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Can hear me, right? Yep, okay. Let me just check if this works, okay. Let me introduce myself, I think, and the company that I work for, okay? I think that's in itself is going to be the reason why I chose this topic. I'm the CIO of Dvara KGFS. Dvara KGFS, we provide financial well-being services to our customers who are located in remote rural areas across India, okay? Most of them are women. Almost 70-75% of our customers are women. And Dvara as a group, we pride ourselves in using technology to really serve underserved people. I will talk about some of the stories that we have as well, okay? But technology has been the tool for us to really reach out to most of the people. And I think, you know, for me to stand here, the inspiration is not some of the names that you know, but the inspiration is some of the employees who work with us. These are women and men who are actually recruited from these rural villages, and also our own customers who have used our services and have done better, okay? So I think the inspiration for me to stand here and talk about this topic are them, okay? And that's what I wanted to say and before we begin. I mean, some of the topics I'll cover, I think I'll just move on. In the current world, I think technology innovation has crossed boundaries, even actually beyond boundaries, I would say, in terms of creating a social transformation. And we all saw that as part of COVID, okay? And some of the global challenges that it's been able to address, I've just listed this more as a, for us to just know the kind of impact it's been making. Climate change, poverty alleviation, disaster relief, all of these are certain areas. Empowering marginalized communities, okay? That's one. Inclusion is something that we work with. Promoting sustainability, I think promoting all the renewable energy solutions, all of these are tech innovations for us. Improving, healthcare and education. I think COVID really catapulted this to the front of what we saw, right? And a lot of social entrepreneurship is also actually being facilitated with technology. People are creating platforms and tools to reach out to a wider audience, right, to create the impact. Given this background, I thought I'll just cover some of these sectors a little more in detail. Education is one. I am sure all of you are aware of AI-driven learning platforms. Digital classrooms are there now. Accessibility tools are being in for remote learning. One of the things, I just spoke to you saying that we actually have our employees are recruited from these remote rural villages. We'll have to train them on our products, on our services, on our platforms, and all of it. We currently use Gen AI-enabled, text-to-speech, vernacular language-based. They can speak into our virtual assistant and then actually, ask for a help, and then they get that. That's the kind of, learning system that we have been trying to bring in for our own people. The other things that you will all know about is, the AR, VR, virtual reality, augmented reality techniques can give even immersive learning experiences. In fact, that's something that we are trying to see if it can help for us as well, okay? The other one on healthcare, telemedicine, again, has been really making the big waves for us. And if not for it, I am sure we wouldn't have been able to get past COVID to where we stand now. AI-powered diagnostics, robotic surgeries are all being done out there. And most of it, in terms of digital health records, digitizing those so that you can improve the patient care also happens. Sustainability, smart agriculture is something that's very, very helpful. IoT techniques, AI techniques are being used for climate monitoring. I will talk about, what Dvara has done around this. Financial inclusion is, of course, the space that we operate in. Digital banking services, all of you are aware of, fintech solutions, and credit access for the underserved populations. I think these are some of the areas. Let me just move on to some of the success stories. I think this is where Dvara really comes in. When I said financial access in rural areas, I'm sure a lot of you have heard about microfinance, access being given to people and all of it. But there's just one differentiating thing that we bring to the table. what we do is financial well-being services is what we offer. In fact, we call our people who are on, our loan officers or the fleet on street as wealth managers. We actually ask them to talk to our customers, understand their goals, understand what their assets, liabilities currently are, their income expenses and all of it, and come out with a recommendation. We have an algorithmic, way of coming out with this. You understand the persona of the customer and come out with actually a recommendation in terms of what is it that they should really be. One, of course, lending products, because we do, end of the day, we sell that as well. So we do give them lending products, insurance products to protect themselves. We also suggest to them how they can save. We actually tell them how they can diversify. Assume they are farmers. They actually have a seasonal way of working. So we suggest to them how they can get additional income by doing other things, right? So that's the kind of service we provide, and we use technology for it. Another one that we do, okay, and I'm really proud about it, is this enabling entrepreneurship out there. I told you around 75% of our customers are women. And an interesting fact for us is, in all these villages, we are also, I think it's almost a given that we have smartphones with us, right? And it's a given that we have all these super apps on our mobile to do everything. But that's not true out there. Many of them, the entire family may have one phone, or the family may have, that area may have one smartphone. I know in some of it's getting better now. A family has one smartphone. That's the way they operate, right? How do they get all the other services done? So one thing that we have done is we have provided what I call as an assisted super app to some of these women in the villages who have smartphones. We teach them how they can use this. So what do? They actually use this to do bill payments. They do phone recharges for them, book tickets and things like that. And as part of that, they earn commission. Okay, and that's another additional livelihood for them end of the day, right? However small that it is. People are so enterprising, you will see that they actually add on to these services more and more. Okay, go talk to others and do other things, right? So I think that's one other way that we have enabled entrepreneurship there. A third one that I spoke to you about is agricultural land scoring. We use a lot of satellite data. This is one of the Dvara companies. We use a lot of satellite data for accessing the health of the farmlands, soil parameters and all of it. Add on to it with the climate information. We are able to give recommendations to the farmers in terms of how their crop yield could be. We assess how their lands are and use that to connect them to financial institutions. Financial institutions need underwriting to be able to give loans to these farmers. So that's another area where we support them with. Okay, so that's almost a patented technology for us in this case. Another one, okay, we also have what we call as a unique identity for cattle. Something like our biometrics are unique for us, right? Most of us know it. The muzzle of a cattle is actually unique for a cattle. You will see in the cattle industry, one of the biggest challenges that financial institutions face is they can't differentiate between one cattle from one house to the other cattle in the other house. It could be the same cattle walking across. It's a joke in the industry. They're saying that, the same cattle will be used across 5 houses to get a loan. But the point here is, it's possible to uniquely identify a cattle, and we also get other inputs on the cattle. We almost, take 50 different parameters, use that to create what we call as a Surabhi score or a health score of the cattle. And that tells us what could be the milk yield, how long, and things like that. And that is again used for supporting these small farmers to be able to go and do cattle insurance using that input, cattle loans they can get as part of this. And they also understand better about, how that cattle is. So this is another technology that we have done. I think some of the others are well known to you. Water.org, I think Matt Damon is the founder for them. They have found a very innovative way of ensuring, safe water and sanitation is being used across in developing countries. They specifically finance, they have partnerships, they in fact work with us too. They specifically finance loans for, building toilets, ensuring, whatever that we create for sanitation and all of it. So that's something that they've done. They do it all over the world. Akshay Patra is another technology one used for providing meals to school children. I think that's really the kind of machinery and what they use is really done on scale, okay? I mean, some of these are, I know I'm talking maybe a lot of tech here, but with the kind of impact that it creates, but that was the intent as well, right? So I thought, let me also speak. I am a techie, so I would really like to talk about, how technology has really transformed. So I think that's something that I wanted to bring to the table. While, there's really transformative potential for all these innovative technologies, I think the equitable access is still a challenge. I spoke about just a phone. It is not just that. There are many, many things that are very difficult. It does not really reach there is a huge percentage. While I know there is a creamy layer where there is access, we'll talk about so much, there is a huge percentage where that has a significant challenge. I think some of the things, in fact, we work with this Digital Empowerment Foundation, which is an NGO that focuses on, teaching women all the digital tech so that they can become entrepreneurs. These are called Suchnapreneurs, okay? It's absolutely inspiring to see these women learn the tech and then set up those small kiosks to run those, and earn, and then actually bring up and do more things as well. Google's Internet Sati program in India also trains rural women for, teaching them how to access internet and all of this. I think one of the important things in this is it's a concerted effort is required across. So this is not something just one private institution can handle, right? Or an NGO. It has to be efforts across government, across private institutions, and non-profit organizations to be able to get there. The other challenge, see, and I'm sure all of you, have been hearing about ethical considerations and other challenges in terms of, bias and privacy and all. And the interesting thing for us is it's that much more difficult in the area that we work with, right? So much of data is being collected, but you will have to make people understand the importance of data privacy, okay? I know DPDP rules have come in India now, and it will be established. Many people still don't understand, in fact, every day is a learning is how I would look at it even for myself, right? We will have to figure out, since we collect a lot of personal data, we need to figure out what data we can keep, what data we can use for analysis, what data we can share with others is very, very important. And personally, each one of us will have to be conscious of it. And it becomes that much more difficult to make our customers understand this as well, okay? The other one is algorithmic bias. All AI systems will have to be designed to eliminate biases. And again, I spoke to you that there is a huge percentage of population where there is a difference. Those will have to be brought in when you're really bringing all these